Last two examples. We're solving for f in both cases. Solving for f in both cases. In this first case, my first thing that's happening to f in my equation is I'm dividing by I, and then I'm subtracting s. That means when I solve, first I add s, and then I multiply by I. Let's go ahead and solve. My first inverse operation is to add s to both sides of my equation. F divided by I minus s plus s is f divided by I. H plus s, I just have to keep it as h plus s. Now my last inverse operation is to undo the division by I by multiplying by I. F divided by I times I is just f. And now it's really, really, really important that you recognize that you're multiplying h plus s times I, not just h. So we're not just going to write h plus s times I. We're going to put I with parentheses to indicate that we're multiplying that I by the whole entire right-hand side. So by far, the biggest mistake is to write something like f equals h plus s times I, which would indicate you're only multiplying s times I, or I times h plus s, which would indicate you're only multiplying h. No, I parentheses h plus s. Last equation, same operations are happening. I'm subtracting s and dividing by I, but I'm doing so in a different order. First I subtract s, and then I divide by I. That means my first inverse operation is to multiply by I, and then I add s. Times I on the left and the right-hand side gives me f minus s equals h times I. Last inverse operation, add s to both sides, and I get f equals h times I plus s. F equals h times I plus s. To recap, on the left-hand side, I divided by I first, and then I subtracted s. That meant my inverse operations happened in this order, plus s times I. Right-hand side, first I'm subtracting s, and then dividing by I. That means my inverse operations occur in the order times s times I plus s. I'd like to take a moment to note that we did not use the distributive property here. We're not going to use the distributive property when we're transforming equations, and I will talk about that more in class. Sometimes it's because it gives you an unsimplified answer, which isn't what we want, and sometimes it makes it just impossible to solve. So when you're transforming equations, do not use the distributive property. Trace through according to the order of operations, and then solve in reverse order of operations.